It's 1300. I'm going to call this meeting to order. First thing is approval of the agenda.
Mayor, if you don't, we'll need the motion first to approve.
Okay,
Ken.
yeah, we need a motion to
So
approve.
he can vote.
To approve Ken joining
Make
the
a
meeting
motion
electronically.
to attend the meeting via phone.
I second that.
Okay.
Okay, as far as under whole business, need to strike number 1.
Okay.
Motion to do such.
We have a second.
Second, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Motion to approve agenda as amended.
There was supposed to be an email concerning a water issue with another customer, but I didn't get it. Is it okay to speak on behalf of that, or does that need to be like a written statement from that customer?
You can amend the agenda to talk about it.
And talk, well, I don't have all the information in front of me is the only thing. Is that okay, or should I just wait?
I'll wait till you have the information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, was there anything else? Oh, I think we need to add to the agenda the adding of the charge for the sale of alcohol, the fee for that. I know that we got to come up with the form, but Ingalls had gave Sonia some copies of some of the other towns that they do.
Yeah.
That would
So
be
we
shown.
wanted to just add that to it,
Okay.
to the packet that Sean hands out whenever they,
And it is in there. It's on the application fee.
oh, it is?
Yeah.
I know at first you had said that we couldn't do that, but then Ingalls had said that other cities and stuff do. So they had gave us a copy of what the other cities did.
We may be talking about two different fees.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the application fee.
For the special events, yeah. No, this is just for whoever requests to,
Well, you're not supposed,
okay. Well, other towns do. He said every
Okay.
town that they do it in, they have a fee. If yous don't want to add that, then we won't.
You want to amend the agenda, put it on there?
Maybe we can wait until the next meeting then.
yeah.
I don't care to put it on there, it's just that I make a motion to amend the agenda after 14 revved up. We add in there where that we make have a fee for the sale of the alcohol.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay.
Unanimous.
Okay. We'll put that as 15.
Sonia, will you have time to go get a copy of one of those that Preston gave you so that I can
Well,
come
like
show
I
him?
had mentioned to you when you asked me about that, Sean, y'all get put Sean completely in charge of alcohol. The gentleman gave Sean a copy. I'm not involved in the alcohol stuff. So no.
Oh, so we gave it to Sean?
I'm not involved in alcohol stuff.
Yeah, what was you needing a copy of then?
Well, you know how the different towns had their permits for them to charge, they charged a
Yeah.
fee for that permit. we need to draw up a permit form like
Yeah.
that. So I just wanted to be able to present something to you
Yeah, he didn't
guys.
give that to me.
He told me that he gave it to
Yeah,
Sonia.
he didn't give it to me. Only thing I've got a copy of is his local government opinion form.
Well, let's do this. I mean,
Cause I was under the impression we'd already approved a $50 fee, processing fee.
for,
I thought we approved that the first meeting.
why don't we
No,
do
that
this
was the-
instead of debating it now? Let's get, if there's something else out there. One, there's a permit fee to the state. Okay,
Right.
we're not involved in that, except
Yeah.
we offer the packet. Remember we put together the
Mhm.
packet? And, thank you. And,
Well, what she's discussing, Ellen, is the gentleman, the representative from Ingalls. He said all
Said
the other
there's
towns
another fee.
charge him a processing fee.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
And I was under the impression we'd
The county
already
does,
approved
too.
that.
okay.
The county's
but
been
let's go.
charging
Let's find out about that fee.
Yeah.
You know, the ABC Commission, the fee is to them, but if there's another fee that's permissible, let's look at that.
Okay.
But you're absolutely in the clear for a fee for special events.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 This is
So
just,
let's wait and pull it all together.
Okay.
And see what fee they're talking about.
Okay.
okay. I thought
All right.
it was-
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
Just strike that then, number 15
We'll
being,
look at that. Okay.
Motion to approve agenda as amended.
I second.
Okay. Okay, we'll need approval of the minutes for the special board meeting work session January the 5th, 2022.
Motion to approve the special board meeting work session meeting minutes, January 5th of 2022.
I second.
All right, and then we need a motion to approve the minutes for the regular board meeting on January the 5th, 2022.
Motion to approve board meeting minutes, January 5th, 2022.
I second.
All right, let's move on to public comment. We have a motion to go into public comment.
Motion to go in public comment.
Second.
All right, do we have anybody for public comment?
Motion to close public comment.
I second.
Hello, Candy, was you want to call in?
That's, yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay, got Candy Odom wanting to call in.
That was the one that I was
On
looking for
public
the
comment?
email for. No,
We just closed
it's like Michael Phillips is like a leak
Okay, does the board,
water issue.
does the board approve her calling in?
We're not there yet.
She's
You
not on the
need a
agenda.
motion to amend the agenda, and then you need a motion to approve her calling
Okay.
in, because it's not on here, is it?
Yeah, see, that was the one that I was looking for the email and stuff about. I make a motion to amend the agenda. After Michael Phillips on number 3, we can add Candy Odom with her water issue.
Milk is in the end.
Okay. And then we need to approve her calling in electronically.
Make a motion to approve her calling in to state her case on her water bill.
Second.
Okay, Candy, we're gonna put you on speakerphone, okay?
let her know that it'll be just a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, it's gonna be a few minutes though. Okay, thanks. All right. All right. Okay, moving on to old business. The Elder Branch survey, I talked to the surveyors yesterday and they're still working on it, so hopefully we'll have that pretty soon. And third is the Old Town exterior.
I spoke with a contractor, and he said as far as the building's integrity is very sound. It just needs to have some maintenance done to it so it don't further deteriorate, but there's no danger of that building falling.
Okay, there is no hazard at all.
And he said he would get me some quotes for the repairs to keep it from deteriorating any further.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't got those yet.
Who was that, Brian?
He has the name of that construction company, Cliff Hall.
Oh, okay.
I think he's done some work for us in the past, so.
Okay, sounds good. All right, number 4 is alcohol sales special events resolution. Attorney's prepared to something for that.
I emailed it to y'all, and it's on the agenda. A resolution to adopt an ordinance fairly well states the guts of the ordinance. So it's, and this one is a bit lengthy, as I said in the email, is because it's about the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages. And then what you do in this resolution is adopt, when you adopt it, you direct that a public hearing on the ordinance be scheduled at your next meeting on March 2nd at 1 p.m. or soon thereafter. So this is your resolution giving notice that you're going to adopt an ordinance regarding the purchase, possession, and consumption of malt beverages and unfortified wine at special events, and that's what you control. And the public hearing will be the 2nd. It'll run in the paper, has to run in the paper twice, and I'll get that to the Star. And so you'll have your public hearing on March 2nd regarding the adoption of an ordinance. Okay, so you're moving along. It takes a while, but so that.
So what action does the board need to take today?
To adopt this resolution, to approve it. And then, you don't print the whole thing in the newspaper, but you give notice that the copy of the resolution is available at Town Hall.
Okay.
So, do make that available at Town Hall, because that's what will be in your public notice in the newspaper. Okay, and then you'll have your public hearing in March.
Okay. So we need a motion to adopt the resolution.
Yes.
So moved.
That's your motion.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution for the purchase and possession of malt beverages and wine
At special events.
at special events.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Number 5, no business is ARP funds, COVID pay policy, and premium pay policy. And I'll turn that over to Sonia. Do you have something with that?
Okay. Well, the first thing is the COVID pay policy. We've had 7 employees in the last month that was affected with COVID and have had to take the time off. As we know before, the county had been able to distribute CARES Act funds for us, for anyone who was out with COVID, and they were able to take off 2 weeks if and not have to use their comp or sick. And then the CARES Act reimbursed the town for those for that expense. And so what I'm asking the board is to approve this COVID pay policy that I had given you. And that just says that any employee that hasn't exhausted their 2 weeks off, or whatever hours they normally work during the 2-week process, as long as they had not exhausted that with the CARES Act, I'd like to be able to use these ARP funds so that they would be able to not have to use their COVID and sick time. So we'd had 6 employees who had already exhausted it. So this is just for 10 employees. What is the will of the board?
I make a motion to approve the COVID pay policy.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Is the COVID pay policy separate than the COVID recovery funds? Am I looking at two different things here?
Comes out of the same money, it's just different. See, before the CARES Act, allowed them 2 weeks of pay. This
Right.
is letting us use the ARP funds to continue that.
I just didn't know if we were looking at two different things, but they're actually together,
Yeah.
right?
Well, she's got
It
pay,
comes out of the same fund.
There's two different-
she's got
Two different
COVID pay
policies. You're
policy
looking
and
at
premium pay
The one in
policy.
front of you says COVID pay policy.
Right?
And the next one I'll address will say a premium pay for essential workers. And so, what was the vote? I heard the second. Kenneth second.
Here's, just so long as you amend your overview to say the town board establishes the following regulations for payment. Toenail in, town board establishes, then toenail in the following. It needs to be real clear on the funds that it's that you have regulations, and it's the following regulations for payment. That's on the COVID pay policy.
Yeah.
And we'll do the same. Okay.
So Taco, did your motion include the suggestion?
Yes, to insert after, on the overview, after establishes the following regulations for payment.
So the employees that were here during that time that are not with them anymore, they're not included in on this?
They're not included on anything with this. Any
Is
of
that
it.
in our resolution?
They have to be employed currently, right?
I can't
It's
imagine
just not
any-
in there? I just didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that you have to be a current employee for any of it to be effective with any of this stuff.
So even though you wasn't, like, I know at one time, okay, I see now.
And the employee will have to bring proof.
Yeah. This is just saving them having to use their sick and annual if they're out of
Right,
COVID,
yeah.
so.
Okay.
What was the vote?
I don't know, I've got a second, yeah.
Ken seconded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unanimous.
And then the second thing, since y'all have given me a 4, was that I'd give you a proposal, number 4, for an option for your COVID recovery funds. As you know, we received this in August. And I came with you with, this is your 4th proposal. And in this one, it would, in this proposal, we would bring up the premium pay for essential workers policy, which is also in your packet. And this is the one that we have worked with, that I believe it was about 5 months ago, Mayor Adams, at the time, Alderman Adams had said that we needed to draft up. We worked with the town attorney, and this is, but there's been a few changes since then, and this is the final draft.
Except to add under overview on the essential worker policy, the town board establishes the following regulations. While that may sound minor, it's important for this money. but the town board establishes the following regulations for payment.
So what would be the will of the board about this policy?
I make a motion to accept the premium pay for essential work policy with the amendment to the overview where the town board establishes the following. Insert regulations for payment.
Yeah, I'll second that one.
It's unanimous.
All right.
That's all I have.
Okay. Next on the agenda is a budget amendment for Bailey Hall's raise.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Unanimous.
Okay. All right. And next under old business is the town cell phone. I'll turn it over to Sonia.
I just wanted to update the board that the previous mayor's town cell phone has still not been turned in. I know Debbie's gonna take responsibility for that, but I just feel obligated to update the town board. I did look up the value of that, and if we needed to replace it, the value of that iPhone to replacement is $699. I did cancel it, so it can't be used.
Okay.
And the current mayor is not interested in using town cell phone, so we don't necessarily have to. I just took for full disclosure.
All right. Number 8 is unmetered water update.
I gave you a spreadsheet, and as you know, we're trying to stay on top of all unmetered water, and that means as soon as we notice that a meter is not working, we want to replace it. And I know that the mayor has been staying on top of that, but our numbers are increasing again. And so just to give you information, we want to be around 15%, and at the end of December, we're at 43%. So what that means is there's 43% of our water that's out there that's unaccounted for. That means it's unbilled. That's potentially lost revenue of $38,000. So we just want to keep track of all water. We want to meter everyone, let everybody pay for their water.
All right. Any further old business? Moving on to new business, the mayor update. The street light down at the school, that pole that the resource officer pointed out to me and Brian, talked to Duke Energy, and they cannot use it, so they're gonna have to get one of those poles across the street, use one of those. And I've been working with McGill, and Joel's here today. He's gonna present. And we got the finance update.
Okay.
We'll turn it over to
So-
Sonia.
The very next thing that you're looking at is we know that we have 3 grants that we're working on. We just addressed the ARP grant, and we're working on a sewer grant. And so I just wanted the board to be aware that we're having, on the next meeting, we'll be putting on the agenda for some more deadlines with that sewer grant. Your budget versus actual is next, and we are right on target with our budget. Very happy. Our tax collections right now are at 90%. That would have been what we'll be seeing for the next month in the finances. For the general fund, you've brought in $74,000 more than you've spent, and for the water and sewer fund, you've brought in $178,000 more than you've spent. That's all I have today.
All right. Next on the agenda is Mr. Phillips. We'll turn the floor over to you.
All on me?
Yeah.
I think it was the 17th, we had a water leak over next to Beach Wilson, and when they turned it back on, I don't know if they turned it too fast or what, but we bought a little house that joins us over there, and we're never there. And it blowed that, when they turned it on, it blowed them thing in the back of your commode, that little float thing.
Yeah.
And there was about 11,000 some gallons of water went through that meter. And I didn't want to use one of my credits for it. You know, I don't feel that it's my fault that it happened, because I'm going to show you prior usage. The month before was 0 gallons. The month before that was 30 gallons, because nobody even lived there. So, you know, I ain't asking for no money to fix it. I can fix it myself. You know, the part's $10 or $12.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't want to pay for 11,000 gallons of water that I didn't feel like was my fault.
Okay.
Because I've got the part in the truck. I brought part of it in this morning and showed the ladies where it broke the ears off the bottom of it.
Okay.
You know, and
What would be the will of the board?
I make a motion that we, take off that excess water off of his water bill due to, I guess, you know, something that we had done.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Unanimous.
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda.
It's
Candy
Kenny.
Odom.
Oh yeah, Candy Odom. Miss Odom, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Candy Odom, and I'm calling on behalf of 445 Mill Creek Circle. Number one, I'm on an auto draft where they take it out automatically. And I went on the other day, I got my pocketbook stolen in December right around Christmas, and they stole everything. And November, according to this, I owe $40 for November, $40 for December, and 2 late fees. That'd be $15 a month, which is $110. And then January's fees, which were $40, and that equals $150. Well, I know for certain that my card was active in November for the $40. And then in December, it would have been whenever they tried to draw it out. And it was around the 28th. I know for certain that it was inactive then because the bank had pulled it. And just as soon as I got my new debit card, I went back on and tried to fix this online, and it wouldn't fix. And it said then that I owed an extra $150 and then a $55 meter fee. And so the total was $358.95. And so I called in to talk to Sonia because I knew her, and I thought that was her part. And I talked to her for a few minutes, and she let me know that that wasn't, you know, her job. And so they sent me back to Miss Sherry, and she was very nice, and she explained everything. And she was the one that told me that I need to talk to somebody about this to see if I couldn't get this overrode, because water's been there forever, and it was my mother-in-law's home. We just inherited it, and then that's when I put the water in. I think it's in my name or Scott's name one. And only thing I'm asking is that we pay the November and December and January, which I am probably paying the $15 late fee for December because I didn't have a debit card for them. But I'm just asking for that other $150 and a $55. I think that'd be $120 November, December, and January, and then $15 late fee for December. So that'd be what, $135? So only thing I'm asking is for a little bit of help for this. I understand that y'all have to implement these systems for people that don't pay their water bills, but mine's on automatic, and it's
make the motion to disregard the $150 reconnection fee and the $55 fee. Allow her to pay the water bill plus the late charges.
I'll say,
I'll vote against it.
Did Kenneth say anything?
He seconded.
Second it.
He said,
Kenneth seconded it.
Yeah.
Kenneth seconded it.
Taco voted no.
Yeah.
Just over there.
No, 2, 4, so it's
Yeah.
Candy, I guess you should give the girls a couple of days until they can go in and get that all fixed up, and then you can set your credit card up on direct deposit or direct withdrawal again. And that
Okay.
$150 and that $55 should not be on that bill.
Okay. Are you finished? Are y'all finished with me?
Yeah.
I think it is, Candy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for listening to me. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, about 5 hours away.
Okay, Kenny.
So thank you very much. Have a good day.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, moving on, number 4 is, Emergency Response Committee that the county's forming, and they're wanting the town to appoint a member to serve on
Is that the
that.
LEPC?
I believe so. Kenneth could tell you more about it.
Kenneth, is that the LEPC?
yeah, I think it is. I talked to Jason the other day, and he said that'd be, somebody from the town wanted to be on the board. They would really appreciate it.
Do you have any recommendations?
I'd be willing to do it if nobody else wants to step up for it. I would.
Make a motion, Kenneth be the emergency, representative for the town emergency response committee to the county. On the
I second
LEPC.
that.
Yeah, all right. All right, next under new business is, inclement weather.
I know we don't use this a lot, but just adhere to, if the county's gonna be on a 2-hour delay, the town just go with the county on the 2-hour delay, or close for the day. Just go by their recommendation, because not all of our people live here in town, they live out amongst the county.
Yeah.
So I would just say that we just, as far as inclement weather, we'll just go by whatever the county does for their employees.
And you want the employees to use their time, right?
Yes.
Leave time.
Yes, they have to use their leave time.
I'll second.
Unanimous.
All right. Okay, next on the agenda is, Joel, again.
Okay. It's good to be here in Robbinsville
Again.
again. Been here talking about the same project we've spoken with for a long, long time here. But the town was fortunate enough to get some appropriated money from the General Assembly. We got $100,000 from the House, and then another 1.1 million from the Senate side. So that's the seed money we really need to get this Tallulah treatment plant project moving again. The other development is the mayor had met with Kimberly Barnett, and she's of course the lady with the state that monitors the water supply, the section for the Division of Water Quality in Raleigh. She's out of Asheville, and she's made some recommendations about how to improve the project. So if this is the actual application that we have to send in to verify and accept the money. If you'll go to page, I believe it's 7. that's the description of the project. And basically, we're doing three things with this project. We're bringing the Tula treatment plant back online. As you remember, we had to shut it down because of the contamination in the creek. The town had previously done some work to improve the intake, but didn't have enough money to bring the treatment plant back online. And unfortunately, that treatment plant's so old that it needs a lot of modernization, a lot of new equipment and so forth. So we priced all that out and hoping to find enough money to be able to do that project, but it's taken a number of years to come up with all that. But this new appropriation allows us to get to the finish line on that. And in the meantime, I know Sonia talked about the water loss in the system. We really feel like the town would benefit by going to an automatic meter reading type of setup. You've got a lot of old meters out there in the system. A lot of them are probably running slow. That's probably part of the issue with having that unrealized revenue with the water loss. So these new meters will be a lot more easier to read, easier to maintain, and there won't be quite as much labor intensive in reading the meters. So that we've added that to the project. And then finally, the wells up on Long Creek, which were intended to really be an emergency supply, they're beneficial to the town as another water supply, but they're not efficient in how they pump into the system. So we're adding a storage tank on the well site there and another pump after that to pump into the system so it can be brought into the distribution system more effectively. Yeah. So those are the three elements of the project. And if you'll go back to 2 pages from the description, go over the funding profile for this. Is the one that has the color on the top. This is the actual application. This total project is going to be $2.973 million. It's a pretty expensive project, but now that you have the money in place, you're able to leverage additional money. And you'll see down there about 2/3 of the way down, you already have a $300,000 grant from the Appalachian Regional Commission. We've had that for a couple of years. We've got to get this project funded and underway by August, or they're going to take that money away. So it's somewhat critical to get this moving at this particular time. And then finally, Robbinsville will also make application for an Economic Development Administration money. We're told by the EDA that this is a very competitive project with a lot of the job loss that's happened here in Graham County and Robbinsville, and so we're going to apply for $1.5 million of that money. So I'll stop there. This project's, as I said, has been around for a long time, but I think it's a very worthy project for the town to bring that treatment plant back online. That way, Long Creek, we can take it out of service and rehabilitate that because it's got some age on it as well.
As well as our storage tanks as well, we'll be able to finish.
Exactly, yeah. All the elements of the Long Creek can you use Tallulah while you fix Long Creek. I will also say that there's the town is designated as an at-risk community from a utility standpoint. Yeah. So there's a grant program this spring that is focused on towns just like Robbinsville, and there's going to be 100% grant money available for a project such as this. This is probably likely going to be funded the way we're talking about it, but if it's not, we would want to push this project into that cycle, and it's I think a May 2nd deadline. And if that has to happen, I'll come back down here and we'll talk more about it. But I think it's a great opportunity for the town to get some 100% grant money. If it's not on this water plant, maybe something on the sewer side might make sense. Yeah. Do some infiltration, inflow corrections in the collection system. Okay. So I'll keep you posted on that. So the action that needs to be taken today, assuming you all support what we're talking about, is a resolution that I think Sonia had put in your packet to proceed with this.
Yeah, I was
I
wondering
actually thought you were going to bring it back. Let me run and make a copy real quick.
Well, I thought I had copies. I may have copies on your desk. I'm not sure I brought them. I thought you already had those. Sorry.
What does it mean here where it's saying conflict of interest policy? Why? What is the conflict of interest?
So Sonia's going to explain it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think it has to do with the board not having any special interest in this project, other than you all own the system, obviously. Yeah.
So what's the conflict of interest that we
that you're not gonna benefit
That you're
personally.
not, there's no
Oh.
conflict.
There's no
Oh,
conflict of
okay.
interest. You're not gonna benefit personally by this money coming
Uh-huh.
into play, and it's gonna be used for
Yeah.
the purpose it was intended.
Hmm.
That's probably a second.
I've just never
motion
seen that
going.
on any of these that we've ever had to do before. That's what threw
I
me
think
for a
this,
minute.
Sonia can explain it better. I think it's tied to this specific
It
appropriation.
just saying that we individuals don't benefit from the project.
Okay.
They amended the statute for public information.
Have you seen any of the new
So I'll let you get
things with the ARPA stuff?
She's
The
bringing some
last
more.
2 weeks they changed it, where you
You
can
talking about the
spend a
work-
lot of that money on stuff like this.
Exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's, they're having some workshops this month about how to apply for that money.
Yeah,
And-
they
and-
just changed a lot of the regulations because they were a little bit more, you know,
Right.
they're letting you use it for other stuff too, so.
I don't know that it was water, sewer, and stormwater. You were thinking there'd be some other,
No, I was talking about the COVID relief thing, the ARAP thing.
American Rescue Plan?
Yes,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with that part of it. All I know is what you can use.
There's a good article
as
on
far
there.
as utilities go.
Here's a good article on
After you adopt this resolution.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
what,
use
is
that.
that in the league
it.
magazine?
Yeah, it's in the league's magazine.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
You provided that.
So she's making copies of that if
The funds
an attorney's reviewing it, so we'll.
that is set forth.
It's a standard resolution that came with this packet, and we just filled in the blanks, town Robbinsville.
It is set forth.
It basically authorizes the mayor to execute all the documents on behalf of this program.
Okay.
Okay, as set forth in this program. In the attached program. Are forthcoming, as you towns get stuck. And
So if the board does choose to make changes to it, I can overnight it to you, because I know you'll need the original signature.
Yeah, I mean, I can hang around at the meeting, get the signatures if you like.
Well, we're going, okay, and then I'll change it.
Yeah.
we'll do it.
You're at the Star, aren't you? Just give me my card.
okay. Going to the town, and that the town is able to finance. Able to finance remaining costs. So we adopt this resolution, provide that, and read that. And,
Thanks.
in the attached program for
Every small town needs a Sonya, don't they?
okay, we'll make
Resolution,
a motion.
make a motion to adopt the resolution, provided that the funds set forth in the attached program are forthcoming, and that the town is able to arrange financing for all remaining costs.
Second.
And give the mayor the authority to sign.
Can I get a copy of that?
All right.
That's all.
Yeah. All right, it passed unanimous, Sonia. It passed unanimous.
What's that?
It passed
Okay,
unanimous.
that means somebody needed a second.
Yeah,
Did you read somebody's second?
yeah, Kim, unanimous. All right. Appreciate you coming.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so, yes, so he's explaining our third grant that we're talking about. So these funds coming from, that are in the Senate Bill 105, this $1.1 million, we has a deadline. We have to get these next three items submitted to them, plus his application and this resolution, by their deadline, and these funds have to be issued to us by February 26th, this month.
Yeah.
So the next thing I'm asking the board to approve is the conflict of interest policy. Conflict of interest policy. And that is in your packet. And so I'm asking the board to approve it and allow Sean, Mayor, to sign it.
Yeah.
The main thing about this is if we use contractors, we won't want them to have there to be any, conflict of interest. We don't want to hire family members. We don't want to hire a contractor that a board member is directly, that is part owner.
No.
Motion to approve the state capital infrastructure grant 11421, conflict of interest policy, and give the mayor authority to sign.
I second.
Unanimous.
And then the second one is the sworn statement. And so what we will, I attended a virtual training session on this last week, and they recommended that this is sworn before a judge, but they said the town attorney could perform this if she chooses to. It will need to be notarized. We'll need both Mayor Adams and Kenneth Hyde. And if that doesn't work out during this quarantine that he's in, we can change that to whoever you appoint on this signature. So I know he's gonna be out for several days. We want to make sure we don't miss our deadline. So right now I'm asking the board to approve, possibly, view of the situation, Mayor Adams and Brian Johnson to be sworn in, to saying that there is no outstanding debt for the town of Robbinsville. Tax debt. We don't owe taxes. We don't pay taxes.
Can I cross the street?
Yeah,
If he votes, we
he
can.
can sign it,
Yeah, he
Kenneth
can
can
sign
sign
it.
it, they don't need to change it.
He said,
He can sign it if he's out of quarantine, sure.
But he's at work, so.
he's right across the street.
He's at work.
He's at work. He's not
Forget
quarantined.
that. Forget that. You want to be sworn.
Motion to approve that,
The mayor and the mayor pro tem.
Mayor Pro Tem about the, certification that the town don't owe any taxes.
I second that.
And do you want to be sworn in front of a judge or our town attorney?
Town attorney.
We can do it. I'll step across the street.
Yeah.
All right.
What was that?
Ellen said she can do it.
Okay.
And I'll step across the street.
Can I ask a question about that?
And then the third one is the contract. So we don't have the contract in front of us yet, but as we know, well, it'll be a standard stay contract that for us to go along with how they want us to administrate their $1.1 million. I want like the board to vote that when we receive that contract, we allow the mayor to sign it.
I need someone to look at it. I'd like to look at it.
So, this contract, we've not seen this
I
contract.
haven't seen it. And it has, we can call a special meeting once we get it. Like I said, I don't want to miss the deadline.
And
I
what
have to
is
give
the
them,
deadline?
I have to give them these two things that we just talked about before they'll give me the contract. And the money has to be issued by February 26th, and today's February 2nd.
So should we just do agree with the contract when you sign it? I mean,
That's what I have an issue with too. I mean, I've not seen this contract at all. And when would we,
We can have a special meeting, or we can say, we could run it by everybody verbally and the attorney. And I don't
when is
know.
the deadline? Do you know the deadline?
how can we be late?
Before
I
the
mean, how
next
can-
meeting.
When's the deadline, Joel? Do you know?
Well, she's talking about the Senate money,
Yeah.
which is a
Oh.
different deadline.
Okay.
The deadline to get this information in is tomorrow. So that's why they get your signature, and we're gonna overnight it to the state.
I'm pretty sure probably the other one is just as,
And actually, I don't think these are really hard and fast deadlines because it's appropriated money. The General Assembly, voted on it. They're not gonna take it away from you. But they want you to
yeah.
start moving forward with the program, obviously. So yeah, better to meet the deadlines than not.
I mean, I'd like to see the contract before we agree to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why ain't the contract? I mean,
As soon as
why
I get
isn't
the
there a
contract, I'll ask for the call special meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a different pot of money than a lot of these projects that, you'll notice what I handed you out, there's a list of all kinds of towns across North Carolina that got this money, but that came through the House. The Senate bill was a separate group of projects. Just so happens you got money from both Senate and House.
So that's a good thing.
And that's definitely a good thing. I don't know how we would have been able to afford this project unless you'd gotten that.
John, you had a question a minute ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering, you know, we met engineers up here to look at those retaining walls, and we wrote letters to Kevin Corbin and Carl Gillespie, and you know, I was under the impression from the letters that they had us wrote that we would be in charge of that project. And so I was just wondering, you know, we hadn't heard anything from anybody, and I was just wondering.
That's something totally separate than.
No, that's the $1.1 million that they issued for the retaining wall, isn't it? Isn't that what it is?
I'm assuming
That's a different
We
one.
don't know.
I
It
don't
is a
know.
different.
It is a different one.
It seems
I've
like the
tried to
amount.
reach out to them too, and they've not
Yeah.
responded.
Okay, so that's a different fund,
It must be because this is
but the same
for
amount.
water.
Yeah, this is
Okay, no
water.
problem.
This is water infrastructure. The way I understood it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. All right. All right. Any more actions under that? Let's move on to number 7. Robbinsville High School softball field water line. And Chad's wanting permission or approval from the board to, the school's wanting water over at the softball field, and Chad's wanting board approval to run a line under the road to the softball field.
What's the cost?
I don't know, he didn't get it to me. Thought he was gonna be here.
Before I agree to it, we'll need to know the cost.
Yeah.
We've been given a permission by Angie Knight to go on there and do this project. Chad said it would take a couple hours, a couple guys.
Yeah. We're gonna just table that to the
Because
next
if
one.
if we do a bore versus a road cut, there's a big price difference.
He said he won't have to cut anything. That's what he told me. He's gonna run a pipe underneath the pavement. That's what he said.
That means he's gonna bore it then.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we table it until our next meeting, and then he can come in and
Okay.
give us the,
Yeah, we just have him here and he'll have the particulars.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he was gonna be here today, but.
I think they're doing meters this week.
Yeah.
For this,
All right.
I think so.
All right, so moving on to number 8, election board invoice. Sonia?
Okay, so you have in your packet, we had budgeted originally $4,500 for the elections, for your elections, plus you went ahead and added $600 hazard pay for the county employees, so that's $5,100. They said they're invoicing at $6,425, so that's $1,300 more dollars. I need you to look at the attached page, and that is the board's budget. Let me just see where you would like to cut your budget so you can pay for the elections additional.
So the Christmas parade money didn't, so we didn't use any of it? Or did that come out of the RDA? It come out of RDA, didn't it?
RTA used some, but then the director said that the town had agreed to put money toward the different floats prizes.
Have they been paid?
Teresa Garland said she did not want a prize. And Hosanna Church was the other.
So we have 1,000 left in that, yes. That's part, if that's what you.
Why did their fee go up from 600 to
From
6,000?
Yes, well, they had asked us to budget $4,500, so that's what we budgeted, and they actually billed us $6,425. And I'm just asking, what would you like to cut? We need to cut the budget, do a budget amendment, so we can pay the election board.
Well, I know we had to pay the $600
Yeah.
hazard pay. I thought that was it, but maybe there was more to it than that.
Election day
Mm-hmm.
Is that us? We had that many?
I guess.
So what's the difference of what we've already budgeted and the other money? What's the difference?
You need $1,325, and we just now suggested 1,000, and we could just be over budget by 300 as long as we don't have any other items. We just want to keep in line with our budget, you know. So we'll just
Can we
have
not
to
just
remember.
amend the budget for this? Like we have this other stuff and add that extra to it instead of taking it out of some of these other ones?
Well, these are lines that's already passed for the year, so that's extra money that's there anyway. Just like the Halloween candy and the parade, you could combine those two and you'd be short about $100, a little over $100.
So, I bring a budget amendment if you're making a motion to bring 1,000 out of the Christmas parade and the balance out of the Halloween candy, and then you'll just be over budget on your elections, which is acceptable.
I mean, we got it there, the money's there, those events is already passed. That's what we have in excess for this budget year.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't need a motion because we can
Just
approve the
moving
budget
line item.
amendment, yeah. Next one.
Just go ahead and use the 1,000 and the 223.76, and then just bring a budget amendment for the remainder.
I bring a budget
That's
amendment.
my motion. Or
Go to second.
I'll second.
All right. All right, next on the agenda is fence repair.
that's
And Chad was supposed to draw a quote for that.
I don't know if they sent it to him or not.
I know there was another company who was supposed to give him a quote, and they may not got it to him. We might as well just table that to the next.
But I do want to make the board aware of that situation for full disclosure. There was a person in town had ran into our lift station fence. We haven't filed a insurance claim because the person that ran into it said that they want to pay for it themselves. So Chad says he's going to get some quotes and let them pay for it. So that's where that stands.
Okay. All right. Number 10 on the agenda, health insurance for a part-time employee. You have something on that, Sonia?
Did you decide if you want to talk about this in a meeting or?
If it's involving an employee, we'll probably need to discuss that first.
Well, unless you're gonna use the employee's name, do you do health insurance for part-time employees?
I don't think we do.
No, that's.
Yeah, as long as you work, according to our policy, as long as you work at least 20 hours, you carry insurance. According to our policy.
Is that what you're talking about?
Well, then why is it even on here? If it's part of our policy, why do we have to?
So without divulging the employee's name, I'd rather discuss it in person.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's do it in
Some
closed
employee
session.
issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Number 11, had several citizens concerned about speeding on Atoa Street and Circle Street, and Mr. Hall, he would like to address the board about that on Atoa Street.
Yeah, thank you so much. We've asked for numerous years for any kind of help, especially to the county, the sheriff department, and at the same time, you know, if you don't have one or two officers and they may be at Stickle or Deal's Gap, it's hard to get them in the middle of town. I noticed on Depot Street, I assume the towns put those bumpers there.
Yeah.
If you sat down there for 30 minutes, no longer than 30 minutes, you can see the difference it's made in the traffic speed just in that short distance. And for some reason, anybody that travels Atoa Street instead of the state road feels for some need they have to get to 55 or 60 miles an hour between the corner and the intersection that they're in.
Yeah.
It's only a 20-mile-an-hour zone.
Yeah.
All the way through that section.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a minimum of 4 or 5 wouldn't hurt through that section, and they couldn't get over 20 miles an hour between the first one and the next one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of children through that
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I would greatly, as one of the people that lives in there, we look at it as that's just not a street, that's our front yard.
Absolutely.
And it would be no difference if I went to the person's that's doing this and see how fast I could get in their driveway. It'd be the same difference.
Yeah.
The
David,
people in
you
that
think you
neighborhood
could,
would be most grateful if you guys could
You
help.
think you could get a list of citizens, ones that live on that road? That's what we did with, Ford Street down there.
Yeah, we can get some, there
And
may
then,
some
we'll
of them
go
oppose
fair
it,
bit
but
to
I'll be
add
happy
some
to.
speed bumps.
Yeah.
Up through that.
How many names do we have to get before?
Just a majority,
Okay.
of the ones that live directly off the road.
Okay.
Okay.
And, we should be able to take care of it.
Bring it to your
You just
mayor?
bring it to the mayor.
Okay, I'll bring it to him.
Okay.
Thank you guys so
Uh-huh.
much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, David. Thank you for coming in.
See you.
All right, number 12, veterans request, want to put crosses on this fence down through here where they hang the flags at.
Are they gonna be permanent?
Or
Or
I
you
know
put
they
them on and off?
had approached Kenneth about it. He could tell you more about it.
Yeah, no, it would be, it'll be temporary, it'll be like Veterans Day and stuff like that.
Memorial Day.
Removal in between.
I don't have a problem with it.
Don't need 'em.
Just for Memorial.
And Veterans Day, I think.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. So you can, on behalf of the board, you can just tell
The veterans.
the veterans and Harold they can use that fence for anything they need as long as it's temporary.
All right, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you need to put it before.
Make a motion to approve the veterans' request to, attach crosses to the fence during the holidays that they wanna put it
No,
on.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day and Veterans Day.
Second.
Unanimous.
All right. Next up is this crosswalk right here between Town Hall and the county parking lot. Getting a lot of complaints of people just ignores it. I've about been hit several times coming across. And people's wanting the town maybe put up another sign or something.
We put one on this side, but when you're standing on that side, cause I come across it today, is the cars can't see you standing there when they're coming up the hill.
Yeah.
And when you're coming down the hill, they can't see because people park in front of the Lynn's restaurant. So I don't know what we can do about that, but we can add another sign on this side of the road.
Yeah. I noticed Murphy, they've got like a sign, you know, warning it's a state law, you have to stop at a crosswalk. We could put something like that out there.
They have it out in the road.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
It's on a movable thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if you hit it, it has some flexibility.
yeah,
We'll look at some different options for that.
okay. You wanna wait till next meeting on that?
Yeah, just get us some prices and some cost of the signs and stuff like that, and then we'll go from there.
All right. All right, next up's, John Caldwell, revved up.
Okay, I'm here to just talk about a couple different things. Number one is the Main Street Conference, Main Street USA Conference, and they usually have really good seminars, work sessions and whatnot. Registration, the town has been supporting us with that. We put in an application to become a Main Street USA committee and our town, Main Street, I can't remember what it was, it was an associate, Main Street Associate Community. We put that in, what, 2 years ago, Sonia?
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, they had 10 communities and they only approved 6 and we were not approved. And we may not get approved because of the size of the town, but they are willing to work with us and help us have the conferences open and let us attend their educational conferences and things like that. And it's been a big help for us. So we've attended the last 2 conferences. I know when we applied, I volunteered to be town manager for revitalization for a 3-year period. So I've been just kind of doing that through Repped Up. The registration fee is $185 because it's going to be on computer. It's going to be a virtual session. Last year we had 2. I think Michelle also attended, but this year it'll just be me. So I'm asking for the town to approve paying the registration for that. It's going to be the town's benefit. And then the other thing that I wanted to ask you about, I want you to know, first of all, that we appreciate, you folks are the only ones that make any donation to us for operating expenses. And until we start getting some large grants where we can take an administration fee, we have no other source of funds for our operating expenses. We have to pay property taxes, we have to pay checking account fees, supplies and things like that. We donate money to the church to be able to use their facilities to have our meetings and whatnot. So we're just, because we're new and because we don't have that supply of grants yet, it gets hand to mouth sometimes for us. One of the things that we tried to do this year, and all of the other donations that we get are, we have what's called restricted and unrestricted funds. So all of the other donations that we get are restricted funds. They're given to us for a certain purpose. And that, like for instance, the Christmas contest this year, RTA gave us a donation of $1,400 and Graham County Festivals gave us a donation of $500. And that money was used just for the Christmas and all of our time was just donated. So we volunteer for everything, every event that we ask for or whatever, try to do to help the town out. So we ended up, and our board approved it, and whatever, we wanted to get the Christmas contest to go to the next step. So, and RTA also wanted that. We extended it this year 2 miles outside of the town limits, and we could do that because the Star helped us. They sent their photographer and took pictures, and we judged off the pictures. We didn't go beyond town limits before because we couldn't get the judges around to see everybody's homes. Yeah. So we want to keep expanding this contest, and we'd like to even go countywide with it. We'd like to get bigger prizes next year. We want to get, this year we had 40 entrants. It was pretty good. One of the things that we did to get more recognition, we decided to pay for a full page ad, and the Star reduced the rate on it quite a bit. But I had to design the ad, and we put in the 13 winners' photos of their homes, and trying to generate some interest in the Christmas contest. That ad cost us another $903. So we're asking if maybe Graham County Festivals or the town could kind of pitch in with us. I mean, we don't expect you to pay everything, but if we could all take a little bit of that $903 on, it would ease the burden instead of just being revved up. Yeah. So those are the 2 things that I asked for. And again, I just wanted to point out that everything we've done has just been totally volunteer. I know I take a lot of money out of my pocket to just pay for things. So yeah. Any help that we can get, we would appreciate.
Okay.
And the $185, if we have to register by the 15th of February to get that registration fee, otherwise it goes up. It doesn't go up a lot, but it goes up to like $200, I think, if we don't register by the 15th.
So what would the board like to do on that?
I think we told him to get a price last time, and the board would pay for one, but I would like the RTA would send one of their board members as well.
Well, I asked Debbie at the RTA meeting, but she was saying that Karen would be too busy, and so I didn't know if anybody else would want to go.
That one that Jens were talking about now is going virtual.
It's
virtual.
$185, yeah. Yeah.
Do you really foresee a virtual class being that beneficial?
Sometimes they are, depending on the topic usually, but sometimes they are. You get a lot of knowledge from them. I'm one type would rather have a in-person class, but
Me too.
that's up to me. But I know we did agree to pay last meeting. We were told you to bring a price for the conference.
Yeah, we had Michelle and I attended the virtual last time. So, and of course, she's, I guess, probably attended through great or whatever, but yeah, you did pay for 2 last year.
Yeah.
But this year, we've had a director resign, and all the other directors seem to be pretty busy. I did ask about Karen going, but she was busy, so it's up to you. I mean, I'm happy to just attend myself, but I really feel like that we get a lot of information from those education.
Well, I'll make a motion that we pay for John to go, and also make a motion that I will go in the RTA's behalf.
I'll second that.
The town's gonna pay for RTA to go.
I think that would come out of the RTA budget, right?
That'd be fine.
Yeah. We pay for one RTA.
Yeah, you don't have to go, just.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Attend.
Attend.
Yeah, 10, okay. And maybe we can coordinate so that we're in different
Kenneth, did you get the vote?
classes.
Ken, did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm good for that.
Okay.
All right then. I appreciate you coming in, John.
Okay, thank you.
And next on the agenda, with it, was going to discuss the fee for the permits.
We added
We're gonna have
it?
to, we just
I think we took it
marked
off.
it off,
Okay.
just because.
Removed, not tabled, it got removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got
Okay.
removed.
All right then. Anything else we have to the agenda or anything?
Just go into closed session.
Okay, we're going into close for personnel
Maybe
matter.
we can sign your thing before we do that.
That's what I was thinking.